Today on the Entrepreneur's Journey, I want to talk a little bit about taking a product to market. The reason I'm talking about this so early on in the piece is because it's one of the most important things to do. It's really easy to get really caught up in the product development and wanting to make sure everything's perfect. And instead of going to market and getting it out there and getting it tested and seeing how your market and your customers respond, you can get stuck in this vicious product cycle where you're always trying to perfect things. You don't even know if it's going to work or not. So I want to give you a couple of quick tips on how I found over my experience of taking products to market and how to get it out there really quickly. The first thing you want to do is make sure you own all of your properties. So own your social media pages, make sure you own your URL. The assumption is by this stage that you've come up with a name. So you want to make sure that all of the brand assets around it, you've already got and that you've secured. Then what you want to do, and there's a lot of ways of going about it, be it through either finding a freelancer or outsourcing, or there might be somebody you know that has the skills and capabilities to do it, but start getting a bit of a brand together. So you've got a logo, you've got some identity, you've got some colors, you know what resonates with your target audience. Get a bit of an identity, start forming your identity. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. I know brands like Facebook and Uber and Airbnb, all the big businesses, they've adopted and changed and evolved their brand over the years as their customers and their personal brand has also evolved. That's the first step. The second thing is to make sure that you've got a bit of presence across all of the major channels. So primarily with digital platforms, you want to make sure that you're touching all of the key points that your audience are playing in. So if you're building an app, you want to make sure that the app's visible on digital channels and social channels. If you have a website, you need to be able to get your traffic to your website from digital channels to your website. So just make sure that you're present, and it's quite. You don't have to do a lot. It's about getting the basics out there, getting the brand out there, making sure you've got a Facebook page, making sure you've got even a landing page on your website. Like if you've got an app, a landing page on a website's more than enough to say to people, hey, this is where you can come, learn a bit about us, and then click here to go to Android or Apple and download the app. The other thing you want to do when you take it to market is start off in what they call a beta mode or almost like a testing mode. So choose a really small core group of customers. It could be 5, 10, 15 customers or potential customers, and say to them, hey, look, we don't want to charge you. We just want to test this. We want to make sure it's working. We want to make sure it's exactly what you want and that it's going to do the job. It's going to function how we want it. We'd love you to benefit from that by not having to pay anything. Get on board and just give us your feedback and tell us what we can improve. What you then want to do is release it to them in an environment where they can safely test it, where they can have a go, and then from there start collating that feedback. The easiest way to do it is have like a group spreadsheet, like a Google Sheets or a shared spreadsheet, where you start listing all of the issues or challenges that you're facing when you've taken the product to market. And get that feedback. From there, as a team, what you then want to do is start prioritizing how you go about addressing those issues and also assessing how important those issues are. What you don't want to be doing is making fundamental business changes or fundamental product changes early on in the piece from the opinions or the feedback of one or two people. You want to use that, I guess, in a sense to help you understand what is or isn't appropriate, and then from there start making those smarter decisions or good decisions as to whether you implement a change or not. Typically, those sort of things will evolve over time. If the product's perfect when you release it, then you've released it too late. And you would have heard a lot of people use that adage, a lot of people talk about that. It's about getting it to market, getting out there as efficiently as possible, making sure that people can find you when they do, and that they've got enough information to help make good decisions. Use a small group of people to test your product out on, and make sure you have some form of a brand identity to go along with that. Thanks very much, guys.